Hi everyone, my name is John Burns. I'm the Managing Director of Diamond Group based on Team Valley. What we're going to be doing over the coming weeks and months is I'm going to contact some of my valued clients, suppliers, colleagues and peers just to talk about the COVID-19 crisis and how everyone's handling it. And I think who better to start with our very own PR consultant, Charlotte Nichols from Harvey and Hugo. So Charlotte, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
As John said, I'm Charlotte Nichols from Harvey and Hugo. We make lovable and memorable brands through the power of telling stories. So we do that using public relations, so press releases in newspapers, media. We also do social media, so Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, and content marketing. So that's everything from email marketing, creating infographics, animations, videos. So basically, a variety of methods to tell your story so that your brand becomes memorable to your audience.
Can you tell us how business was before this started, how it is now, and how you see it moving forward?
Before kind of early March, it was brilliant. It was fantastic. In fact, March was still our best month that we've ever had. It was mainly down to a lot of projects finishing off that we could invoice for. Whether or not we'll get paid for all of them, that's a different matter. But yeah, things were going really, really well, which is a good thing actually, because if they weren't to start with, we would have been in not a great position, and naturally we're okay at the minute. We'd just launched a new website, so we'd invested in digital things like that, and we were just about to start rolling out a rebrand for the pay-as-you-go side of things, which is actually a good time for pay-as-you-go. So we just kept going with that, keeping promoting the services that we offer as part of it. So that was March. April, totally different story. It was probably one of our worst months that we've had for a long time. So yeah, you just can't believe it. Obviously, the most important thing throughout all of this is that we're all well and healthy. But it's just crazy times for businesses, it's crazy times for people. So from going from having your best month ever to your worst month, it's just ridiculous. I think we lost about 30% of our regular clients within a week. I think a lot of them just started to panic, cutting back on costs. And some of them were great. They communicated about it. And some of them, I think they just ran for the hills.
Yes, I think it's happened to a lot of people. You used the word panic there. I think that was the initial reaction of everyone, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's a shame because I get that people need to be hanging on to thinking more wisely about how they use their cash, but people should be honouring some of the commitments that they've made, certainly to past activity, because it's a knock-on effect. If one business can't get paid in the supply chain, it's going to cause a domino effect. So I think people should try and hold their nerve a little bit and just kind of be a little bit more measured about things.
I mean, how well do you think you were prepared for this happening? And if you weren't, I mean, what sort of things have helped you, and how quickly did you get prepared?
I'd like to think we were quite well prepared for working from home, because we work remotely anyway. I usually work a day a week from home, and obviously we have a brilliant IT company, so we have everything geared up. We have a VPN that we can access. The majority of the team have laptops. There's only our animator who hasn't got a laptop, but he was still able to take the computer home, and he was set up by Diamond really quickly. So working from home wasn't a problem. It's different for us. We do miss each other. We're a close team. We do little check-ins. We call them pack huddles twice a day, and we just try and have a bit of a laugh. I have complete trust in every single member of my team, so it's not a case of I need to check in and see what they're doing. Yeah. It's just to kind of stay in touch, really, and we miss that kind of office banter.
It was quite good I had a meeting with Jen last week. From her garden and my garden.
I know.
It was quite interesting, but was quite relaxed, and it didn't take any of the importance away from the meeting, so that was quite good.
It doesn't. It's lovely, and it's actually really nice getting an insight into people's homes. We're keeping it quite hidden at the minute with our minimalist backgrounds, but yeah, some people's are great.
So Charlotte, how have you found communicating with staff, customers, suppliers, to kind of Did you have to furlough anyone and stuff like that? They're all difficult conversations to have. And how have you found that?
Yeah, it's difficult because I like to have any difficult conversation, whether that be with a client, supplier, or one of my pack members, face to face, and that's really difficult because you can't do that right now. So I have had to furlough 2 people, and it was awful. Obviously, it's made a lot easier by the government scheme, the job retention scheme. So I'm grateful for that, but it's never a nice task to do anyway. I explained to the team as a whole. I remember the day, actually, it's one of those landmarks that will stick with you for life, when I heard Boris Johnson making that statement saying those that can work at home must start working from home. And so the next day, all the way into work on the Tuesday morning, I was worried, saying, what am I going to do? Because I knew it was big. There were some people saying, it'll just be a couple of weeks, but I was like, no, this is a big deal. And so I had to have a little talk to everyone. And I'm an honest person. I don't like sugarcoating things. I was like, look, there's going to be some really awful decisions to be made here. It is very serious. But the one thing I can promise you is that I'll be open with you throughout, and I'll let you know when clients leave. I'll let you know if we win work. I'll let you know. I was quite optimistic. But I think that's all you can do. So as soon as I knew that clients were leaving at quite a significant rate that week, we kind of told everyone. And then I just made individual phone calls to everyone in the team, whether they were being furloughed or not, because it's just important to communicate, even the positives and how well people are doing. And I've written letters to the people that I had to furlough, like handwritten them, sent them to their homes, because I wanted them to know that this was through no fault of their own, and they're so valuable to the company. It's just circumstances. And, sometimes it's just which clients chose to leave us in terms of who gets furloughed. And so I just wanted to put people's mind at ease like that. In terms of clients, I've been speaking to clients. The account managers have mainly been communicating with clients, because they communicate with them day in, day out. And it's just a case of calling them all the time, thinking of new ideas, what can we be doing? Because believe it or not, it's actually a great time to be building your brand and telling your story, because there's more people listening, and there's more kind of time to do it. And there's market share to be gained from the brands that aren't doing anything and who are pulling back. So constantly communicating with clients, letting them know we are here, we're working from home, but we can still deliver projects for you. Suppliers, again, I've honoured all commitments that I have to them, and I've either frozen things where possible. But it's just about, again, open and honest communication, and just saying to my accountant, I was like, look, we're going to struggle. We're all right for this month. It's totally fine. You'll get paid for everything so far. But what can we do? Can we do quarterly management accounts rather than monthly? So things like that. And I think people appreciate just being upfront. I know we do. On the other hand, we have had clients that have just cancelled direct debits and disappeared. And, it really, things like this really do show true characters.
Does. I think you mentioned communication. I think it's vital you do that, because we've had clients who called us up and said, look, we're going to be struggling here. Can we do anything? And we're able to help them and advise about, as I advise you can cancel your lease, not cancel it, but you can defer your lease for a couple of months, stuff like that. But exactly the same, we had people who just cancelled the direct debits, didn't tell them nothing, just disappeared. But I've found actually these are the ones who we've had problems with in the past getting paid. So it's kind of the cream rises to the top, doesn't it? So
absolutely, everyone's in the same boat. Everyone understands, but there's no excuse for just not having the decency to communicate with each other in these times.
So Charlotte, is there anything you've had to change and you're doing now because of the situation that you think, actually, I'm going to carry on doing this when we come out of it?
Yes, actually. So Hugoversity is our training company, the sister company, Harvey and Hugo. We had an event planned for end of April, and in all honesty, I think the uncertainty hadn't helped, but the numbers were quite low for who'd signed up. So we said we'd do it virtually on Zoom for the first time, and actually it went brilliantly, and we increased attendance by doing it virtually. So we'll do some in-person events as well, but still some Zoom events, because again, it's just easier for people to attend. Some of our London clients can't always get up to the Northeast for events, so it's more inclusive that way, and it's great for the environment as well. I do really like the idea of if there was a day a week where those that could work from home all worked from home throughout the whole of the country. It just, every little helps for the environment. I think that would be lovely. And so maybe we'll start doing something like that. Also, the pay-as-you-go system that we have, we found, I set that up in 2009 in the middle of the financial crash, and it was brilliant. That's what helped me start the business. So that's definitely going to continue to grow throughout this, and while people build back up, because there will be a lot of uncertainty out there, people won't want to sign up to contracts straight away. Another thing that we've just launched is a charity campaign. So for any kind of new pay-as-you-go business, we'll donate 20% of the fee to charity, and the client gets to choose which charity they'd like to support. Yeah. It kind of came off the back of seeing how the charities were struggling, and it's not so much the charities, but it's the people that benefit from the charities, or the animals that benefit from the charity. And it just is awful hearing about that. I mean, as businesses, I've got a lot of sympathy for business owners, but when there's a defenseless elderly person struggling, it's just awful to see. So we might still keep that as a feature, a little bit of giving back to charity as part of our services.
Yes, because I suppose they're losing money from people doing runs and outdoor activities to raise money.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really hit them, and that, like the business side, they're going to get a lot of benefits through the government, but it's not going to help everyone, just like the business side.
So when we, hopefully we'll finally get back to normality, if it ever exists again, will it just be a case of business as usual, or do you think there'll be a bit of recovery involved first?
Yeah, because Rishi's talking about us bouncing back, but I would love that to happen, but I really can't see it. Certainly for us anyway. I think some industries, I know, the service sectors, obviously the hospitality and leisure sector's being hit the hardest, but then I think next is the service sector, and it's just, again, it's that confidence that people need to build back up, and rightly so, that they'll want to kind of get their teams back up and running first. It might be hard to justify that they've got someone who's furloughed, if that's even still running by then, and they might want to bring them back before taking on any other activity. But saying that, it's really important for the brands that the PR and marketing is picked up as soon as possible, because otherwise damage will be done. People will start to forget about them in favour of the ones who have been brave and who've been promoting their brands throughout. But yeah, everyone's different. Every business owner is different, and I think it'll just depend on that. But yeah, I'd love to say, it's going to just bounce back, but I think it'll be slow.
On that, do you think you've learned a bit more about your people, your staff, through this?
Definitely. Mainly all positive things, actually. I've got a good team, and everyone's been so understanding. It's more, I saw a post on LinkedIn, I think you probably saw it as well, John. It was just, actually, it must be awful to be furloughed. It must be awful to be just sat at home worrying, wondering what's going to happen to your job. But equally, it's really hard for the other members of the team. It's almost, I don't want to say the easy option, because it's not, but we've still got to keep working all the time and still not sure what's going to happen in the long run, and keep things going. And sometimes you're putting in more hours than you usually would to try and drum up more business and keep things flowing, thinking of new ideas, going above and beyond for clients. So yeah, my team have been all amazing, so understanding and working so hard. But I have known and I've heard that people in other companies are like, well, can I be furloughed, please?
Oh, yes. I think one interview I had with someone, they were saying that they'd found a survey people had taken, and they asked, would you prefer to work full-time and have 100% your salary, or be furloughed for 80%? And it was something like 70% wanted to be furloughed. Which would be interesting to know if they do that survey again, kind of in 3 months' time, whether they still feel the same way.
Yeah, true. It's just, I guess everyone reacts differently to situations, and it's about motivating those that aren't furloughed more than anything, I found as well, and being honest at the same time. But I know a lot of companies are abusing the system, which isn't good.
Yeah. Okay, so finally, is there anything you've kind of learned about your business and yourself, like personally as well, and anything in particular you'd like to share with the business community that you think may help everyone, so we can all get out as stronger?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's perspective as well. I've always been good with perspective. My husband was quite ill when I met him, and it was at a time where all I ever used to think of was business, business, business. But there's much more to life, and I'm incredibly lucky that I've been given some extra time to spend with my daughter rather than her being at nursery all the time. Yes, it's difficult to fit everything in, but that's amazing, and I'm just grateful for my health and wellness of my family. And I think it's a good time to take stock and think about what you are grateful for. I've always known that business is a bit of a game and quite volatile, but never realised quite so volatile it could be. But it just made me think, you've got to live in the moment sometimes and enjoy things and just kind of realise when things are good, because they could always be a lot worse. So a little bit of self-realisation in terms of that. These things are great. Zoom's brilliant. Teams is great. And I've always known this as well, but nothing beats face-to-face. And I'm not going to say that I'm going to rush back and just do face-to-face meetings, because this definitely has a place, certainly environmentally, time-saving. But a face-to-face meeting will be lovely. I can't wait for that. And just being in an office again, as crazy as it sounds, that buzz of an office, and being in other people's offices, being at events. I'm really looking forward to that as well. So it's made me appreciate little things that I took for granted. And yeah, it's just, I've learned, that people aren't always who they seem. Like I said, in periods of stress, you really get to know what someone's character is really like. And that won't be forgotten, positive or negative. There's been people like yourself, John, and your company gone above and beyond to help us in terms of, getting us set up quickly. I know we were mainly set up anyway, but just the odd person's computer. And you're just very grateful in these situations. Like us, we're going above and beyond for our clients because we know it won't be forgotten at this moment. And doing lots of extra reading and learning and just trying to make the most of the situation, really.
Yeah, you mentioned taking things for granted, just going to the pub for a pint, not that I do very often, but just simple things like that, going to the cinema. But more than anything else, cuddling my daughters. You take things like that for granted, just cuddling people, and it's been really difficult. But that's great, Charlotte. So thank you for your words of wisdom. I'm sure everybody will take something from that. And if I can just stay safe and take care, and we'll hopefully meet up soon.
Yeah, definitely. Take care, John. Thank you.
Thank you.